My name is Diane Davison, and I know something about spinal injury. Spinal cord injury is recognised by the World Health Organization as one of the most traumatic events that can happen to a person. Everyone faces the challenge of spinal cord injury in their own way, and each person is unique in the way that they continue to live following injury. Learning to live with spinal cord injury takes time. This DVD was made to show you some of the ways in which people continue to have active, engaging, and satisfying lives after injury. We hope that it will encourage you to think of possibilities instead of limitations and to look beyond what might not at first seem feasible. The resilience of the human spirit is powerful and can be seen clearly in these short extracts from people's lives. The DVD is divided into two sections: people at work and people enjoying various venture activities. The individuals who took part vary in age and in level of injury, so that you can get a balanced insight into life after injury.
I was on holidays in Spain and I fell off a wall in June 2004, which resulted in me becoming paraplegic. I had surgery in the Mater and then I was transferred to the rehab in Dunleary, where I was there from June 2004 and I was there for about 7 months. And then I was very lucky that I was working in a job prior to my accident that I was able to continue in. And I came back to work then after about 6 months after I left the rehab. Well, I think I was very lucky that I had very exceptionally supportive family and friends that just treated me as normal, and if I ask for help they're there, but they just treat me the same and include me in everything that's possible. And I think some people were probably a bit apprehensive seeing me, what will they do now, Karen in the chair, but once I came back they said, okay, she's still Karen, exactly the same, she's just in the chair all the time now. So people are very accepting. When I woke up and realised that I was paralysed, immediately I thought of a friend of mine who's quadriplegic, and he's very active, and he actually was running a pub and doing the hiring and firing in accountancy. So I thought, well, if he can do that and he's quadriplegic, I've no excuse. So just to get on with it and just do whatever I can. So he's been my inspiration.
I had my accident in September 99, motorcycle accident with a van, so I came out the worst of it. Ended up in the rehab, was there for a couple of months, and as soon as I left, I didn't know what to do with myself because I was a carpenter before that, and I worked on motorbikes for a lot of my life since I was 16 as well, so that's how I was into the mechanics. And then after the accident, I took up rebuilding rotary engines because I was into the rotary cars before the accident. Just happened one, just a couple of months before the accident. So that got me back in to keep me busy. So what I do now is I rebuild the rotary engines. And because I have the workshop, everything set up on a bench, I have my other mechanic, he takes the engines in and out of the cars, and then I work on them here at the bench, rebuild them, and then he puts them back into the cars. Yes, at the Spinal Injury Centre, when I finished in hospital, I went back there for 12 months helping out, doing what I could do for other people. So that kept me busy. So when I was finished there after the 12 months, that's when I started getting into doing the engines myself. Yeah, when I had the accident, it happened in Animo, and then I was brought to the Mater after that. And I think it was the next day when I woke up, and I was facing the floor, and the doctor came to me after the operation, the first person I saw, and he turned around and told me, I won't be walking again. Luckily I was a strong person, it didn't seem to affect me. I just said, well, I have to get on with it, and that's it. I have the use of my arms, so I can keep myself busy. The one thing I recommend to everybody is get your own transport, simple as that. Relying on other people to bring you to places can be very frustrating, so if you can get yourself a car, get out on the road and start driving. So then that's like having your feet back again, because you're mobile, you can do what you want.
I had a farm accident really. I fell down through a painted skylight, and I only fell about 9 or 10 feet, but what I fell on done the damage. Like it was a cow cubicle, and I didn't realise at the time like that the plastic skylight was so weak, so it just gave away under me and I fell after my back. The day that I really discovered I had never walk again was the day they measured me up for a wheelchair. I thought there was some hope along the line until then. A local man designed a hoist for me to get me into the tractor, and once I was in the tractor I could plough, cut hedges and draw silage and grain. It's perfectly safe and it lifts me right up and into the tractor seat, and I just transfer from one to the other. And that's really what got me out, because the tractors are so high, there's no one can lift you in. Don't stay at home and look out the window. You must have something to do, like.
My name is Emer. I'm working for FBD Insurance. I had my injury about 14 years ago now. So I had a compression fracture of C5, C6 from a diving accident. I was diving into the sea, and I was paralysed as a result of that. I suppose I came to the realisation slowly really of what had happened and the effect it would have on my life at that stage. I was only 17, so my life was changing anyway in a big way. So kind of came to the gradual realisation that this is how it's going to be, so just dealt with it. Before I even had contact with Spinal Injuries Association, my family had got a lot of support from them, and they were able to relay it back to me, and then I'd meet various people from the Spinal Injuries Association and the National Rehabilitation Centre themselves. The support was great. Once I left there was plenty of support back in school for me. The teachers were fantastic, and then I went to university and there was very specific supports available there. They're very geared to having people with disabilities in university, so it was great. There was never a problem with anything.
Yeah, well, in 1977 I had a road traffic accident. I was heading to play pitch and putt on the day, and I had a golf ball in my pocket. I headed off with a group of friends. There was about maybe 10 of us, and I dropped the golf ball. So I got off the bike and went back from the group, and then tried to catch up on them, and came to a very bad crossroads, an X-shaped crossroads on split level, and unfortunately rode out in front of a car at that junction. That resulted in a compound fracture of the left leg below the knee, so the tibia and fibia were both broken. I broke my femur, thigh bone, and when I came off the car I ended up on the concrete fencing on the side of the road, and that broke my spine, fractured my spine at T4 through to T7 level crushing, breaking ribs and puncturing my right hand lung. So I was actually very badly injured, and really a miracle that I survived the impact on the day. Well, I suppose like initially, you know, it's a very, very hard adjustment at the start, and I wouldn't in any way want to diminish how difficult it is for people, and depending on obviously their backgrounds, their friends, their family, and that, you know, you need all of those supports. I've been very lucky. I've had a lot of support right through, with great friends, great family, and the encouragement of so many people around me, including my wife, who I met some years later. But I've lived my life in that I've never accepted no for an answer. You know, spinal injuries is a change in your life. It's not the end of your life. There's so much more potential that you have, and I think if you focus on the talents that you have, and I enjoy life, I see it as a second chance, and you can really lead a very full, a very active life despite your injury. And I would be saying to people, look, go out and just go for it, because you're only going to get one chance. And you know, my motto has always been, no doesn't exist.
There definitely is life after spinal injury. It's 13 years down the road now for me, and you know, most of the time I don't even think about being paralysed. I just think what I'm going to do next. In 1997 I got a fall off a horse in a race over fences at Ferryhouse Racecourse. Sandgren National Day, 31st of March, Easter Monday. And I was left paralysed from my neck down. C3, C4. Vertebrates were damaged and my spinal cord was severed. I was in the rehab for 13 months and they took great care of me and they looked after me really well, and can't praise them enough for that, the doctors and nurses and the carers there. Also my family as well and friends. So, of course, then after the 13 months, it was time to come home, and you know, I was always one that was up early in the morning, out going, and I didn't like being indoors. So I thought, what am I going to do? I thought about it a good bit for the last 6-7 months with me stay in hospital, and I decided that I'd go back into horses because that was the only thing I knew, and that's what I loved. So I decided to take out a permit and go training. So I did that and went from there to got a full license, and I've been training since. They never really told me, you know, you're never going to, you're never going to move my arms or my legs again, or never walk again. You know, they just kind of leave you figure it out for yourself as you go along. You know, you're always hoping that it'll come back, but as time goes on, then you kind of know yourself, and you know, I don't give up too easy. I try and do it, you know, and there's fine days outside looking out and wondering, you know, this is the end. What am I going to do? But it's not the end. It's far from the end. Sometimes it's going to have to be the beginning of something different. I don't think too much about being paralysed. I don't put that as a barrier to stop me from doing something that I want to do.
It's part of an empowerment idea that we have, that both people who haven't got a disability and those with a disability empower themselves, think positively about themselves. And I know that some of the people that I've been teaching here have gone through a very traumatic period in their lives, mentally and physically, and the program helps people to build their lives back up again. It plays a small but significant role in empowerment.
So this is your BC, your buoyancy control jacket, which you'll be working an awful lot with, because the buoyancy control jacket will determine your depth. This is what we call a buddy reg. That if your partner runs out there or something happens, you can offer him a second reg, so the two of you can breathe from the same bottle.